So here's a question for you, Chuck. Back in the NES days, when you wanted to take your games on the go, what did you do?
Got a motherfucking Game Boy.
You did. You would get a Game Boy.
Get a Game Boy.
And while it is awesome in its own right, you know, Tetris, that's probably the reason why Tetris succeeded. Super Mario Land, Castlevania Double Dragon, there's tons of great games on the Game Boy. But what was the biggest drawback?
It wasn't an NES.
It was not an NES. So the geniuses over at NEC, which made the TurboGrafx, didn't really see it the same way that Nintendo and Sega did to build like a proprietary handheld that had its own standalone game. So like, no, that's probably not really going to work for us, so we're going to take it one step further, because the Game Boy was dominating at that point the handheld market, and they're going to be like, NEC's like, you know what, we're going to bring something different to the table. We're going to do something nobody else is doing. We are going to let you take your Turbo games, which are already portable size, on the go in a 1-to-1 comparison. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Turbo Express, a handheld TurboGrafx 16.
Oh my god.
Plays the games.
Did you just see that shit?
It's amazing. I mean, dude, look at the size of this thing. It's freaking huge. It's easily twice the size of a Game Boy. 6 AA batteries. Power freaking hog.
It's a hog.
Luckily, I got an AC adapter with it.
Holy shit.
Look at the size of this thing, dude. It's like for a console.
And it's like, it's literally heavier than the Game Boy.
It is. It's like, dude, it's heavier than a damn Turbo Express. This has got some freaking beef, man. So, dude, so ahead of its time, because, I mean, literally, you have a handheld version of your console in full color, and it even had a port for TV tuner so you could watch television.
I mean, get the fuck out of here with that.
Dude, that was amazing. Mom and Dad, you never bought me one of these when I was a kid. I begged you for one of these, but they were $250. The handheld was more than the console. The console was $199. And I begged you guys for one of these, because I was like, dude, this is way better than a Game Boy. I can sit in the back when we're going to Grandma's house. I can play TurboGrafx. God! It'd be amazing. So this one, actually, Chuck, is in need of a little bit of love.
Oh, come on.
It does power on, but no video and no audio. But that's okay. This is why we have the wizards at East Starland. They fixed the Turbo Duo. They got that puppy up and running, man.
Indeed.
I'm going to cut them loose with this, let them take this baby to the hospital, fix it up, get her running. So I'm going to have my Turbo on the go. Dude, one of the greatest things I've seen on Facebook recently. I want to buy this guy a beer. If you're watching this, dude, I will buy you a beer. Dude took a freaking selfie while he's sitting in the freaking theater waiting for The Force Awakens to start, rocking his Turbo Express. I was like, dude, that is a Turbo. So Chucky, man, I love the TurboGrafx collecting community because it's such an active and rabid fan base, man. It's definitely the most loyal fan base I've ever seen for a console, you know, for collecting and stuff. I mean, the people who have it, they don't just have it, they absolutely love it. Like, it is a freaking, like, just passion to them. It is an absolute life passion. And a lot of these guys, as it turns out, seem to have some like engineering and electrical engineering skills enough to make stuff, you know, to make accessories and things.
Good on you guys.
So there's a lot of these parts available out there that you can actually get these days that have been re-engineered. In this case, I got a brand new cable for my Turbo Duo.
Do tell.
Where the fittings have actually been updated. It's just the AV cable and stuff, because the one I have is actually the original AV cable that came with the Turbo Duo, and well, it works, but it's seen better days.
Degradation happens.
So I'm just thinking, you know, I could probably use a spare. Just in case that thing goes out, because that thing doesn't look like it's going to last, you know, all that much longer. So you don't have to spend a lot of money for these, you know. To the guy who makes these, I don't know your name, but thank you very much for doing that. It's awesome to have a spare. And the same token, I don't know if this was the same guy, but this is an adapter cable that will actually transform a TurboGrafx lead into a Turbo Duo. So one of the big drawbacks I personally thought with the Turbo Duo, it made absolutely no sense that they changed controller hookups. So your TurboGrafx stuff, like your Turbo Stick and your Turbo Pads, wouldn't work on the Turbo Duo. I thought that was absolutely absurd. I was like, why would you do that? This isn't a different system. It's the same thing. It's whatever. But anyway, so the trick is, if you want to play like a multiplayer Turbo CD game, all you really have to do is hook up your Turbo Tap to this end right here, and then this end hooks into the Turbo Duo, and then you just hook your TurboGrafx controllers into the Turbo Tap. So you've got, it's all the voltage and everything lines up. So
done and done.
You're ready to go. Or if you just want to do a single controller, you can do that too.
Ready to rock.
$10 cable, man, and you don't need to buy Turbo Duo controllers, which are expensive as shit. Trust me. So Chuck, you know that I have a little bit of a fetish when it comes to collecting for VHS tapes.
Indeed you do.
It's really strange.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I think it's weird. I mean, I like Laserdisc too, but...
See, that one I get a little bit more, but okay.
I like VHS tapes.
Yeah,
They're
he
freaking
does.
neat. So I happened to come across a pair of TurboGrafx 16 related VHS tapes. One of which, let's see, it says free video brochure. You may or may not be able to read that, with sneak previews. So I'm guessing you got some gameplay footage and stuff like that. They probably handed this out at stores, probably like Toys R Us and things like, hey, have you heard of the TurboGrafx? Here you go, you know.
Put this on the loop on your TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I just dug it because, dude, it's the black and orange. You know, this freaking signature colors for the system. I'm like, yeah, I've got to have one of these. And on the same token, I'm thinking this was the retailer version because it's very inconspicuous.
Yeah.
To the very least. Little kind of generic white and blue label there. It says TurboGrafx Game System and Software, Turbo Duo Game System and CD Software. So I'm guessing this was just like a retailer demo loop where they would put it on, like, you know, like, check out Lords of Thunder, you know, all that other stuff. So yeah, just little oddities like this, especially for the TurboGrafx or for any system really. Dude, I'm all over it. I mean, look at that cabinet back there.
It's ridiculous.
It's like fucking Barnum and Bailey, you know, the freak show. So yep, that's me, PG Barnum. So next we actually have a little special booklet that goes with World Class Baseball for
Well, look at that.
player stats, where you basically got every team that's in it. And dude, these teams have some awesome names. The Tokyo Ninjas, the New York Apples, the Los Angeles Stars, the Chicago Winds, the Toronto Towers, the London Lords, the Paris Fries, the Rome Togas, the Moscow Bears, the Peking Ducks. That's awesome. The Bangkok Buddhas, Sydney Sharks, and the World Champs. So basically in here what you've got is like complete stats and field rosters, pitch hitters roster, the capacity tables for all the players and everything like that. You got like the complete stat breakdown for every single player in the game.
Your little own personal ESPN for the game.
Yeah, this is like if you were doing fantasy football with World Class Baseball, this would be like your Bible.
There you go.
You got all your shit right here. I just think it's cool that they actually included that with the game, you know, along with the instruction manual. You got like a little extra guide
Yeah.
to help you. So, hi Savage Matt. So next up, we actually have a couple things that were included with the late TurboGrafx 16 and Turbo Duo, and this came in with the original TurboGrafx. It was kind of like just a little demo thing for Turbo Play, which was their version of Nintendo Power. Let's see, if the card is missing, send $9.95 to Turbo Play Magazine. I think they mean this. I don't know.
Yeah, but
We should send something to that address and be like, dude, we still got it. Every other month, 6 times a year, you'll receive the best magazine to keep you up to date on what's happening in the world of the TurboGrafx 16 game system.
oh shit.
Yeah, it's too cool to come out every month like Nintendo Power. They don't need 12 issues. That's for losers. And we've got a little fold-out for the Turbo Duo. Show all the software and all that other stuff.
A little turbo
things
porn,
like this.
little fold-out.
I'm gonna get stuff like this framed, dude, like hanging above the TurboGrafx section of the lounge.
Do you
It'll be
think?
awesome. Then we have a manual for the Turbo Duo, and dude,
It's big as fuck.
the NES manual, or even the Super NES manual, like a little tiny booklet.
That's big as fuck.
Look at this. I mean, you got like just everything you'd ever need to know.
No pictures.
No, just basic stuff about
Like-
the Turbo Duo.
That's,
Yeah, they gave you all the information. You're good to go, dude. So next up, we have a bundle, another awesome bundle.
Fucking
that
bundles.
I just wheeled and dealed with a gentleman, or I don't know who it was really, since it was via the internet, for a stack of things that they had, and I basically wanted to take every single one of them. So we worked out a deal.
Stacks on stacks.
Guys, we've got like the mother load of TurboGrafx magazine here. We got a bunch of Turbo plays. I'll show you the issues. I think this is the one for Kadash, either Kadash or Newtopia. Please let me know if I've got that wrong, guys. I'm pretty sure I got that right. We have Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous. I think this one is Superstar Soldier, the Turbo Play. Let's see, Street Fighter 2. Yeah, I love how they advertise Street Fighter 2 and they didn't even bring it to America.
Yeah.
And then they've got Dragon's Lair, and it's one of the first ones for the Turbo Duo, actually. So it's before it actually came out. The Addams Family. Yeah, remember when that was big. Oh, this is the Newtopia one. So yeah, that other one must be Kadash. Newtopia and Sidearms. This is a really good one. Bloody Wolf. Look at that shit. Freaking red heat, Schwarzenegger. We have Air Zonk. That's a really important one. Let's see, Sinistron. That's a good one, another good shooter. Let's see, what is this? World Championship Tennis, I think, is the name. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, World Championship, yeah, okay. Then we've got, the magazine actually eventually changed names several times, and it then became Turbo Force, and we've got 2 key issues here. The one where they actually announce the Turbo Duo, the Super CD game ROM system, which was the second incarnation after the attachment, so the actual standalone Turbo Duo system. And my personal favorite from the batch, Lords of Freaking Thunder on the cover of Turbo Force, man. This is like, dude, TTI. It's like the bomb. Then after this, I believe it was called, they renamed the magazine to Duo World, but it only lasted a few issues after that. So, dude, epic freaking stack. We've got the reference section off and running for the TurboGrafx collection, man. We're good to go. Last, but certainly not least, ladies and gentlemen, I've been after one of these in box for a while. I have one on my TurboGrafx, but dude, I just love this big orange box. Orange is actually my favorite color, probably because of the TurboGrafx. We have the Turbo Booster, which, quite frankly, should have been part of the TurboGrafx system to begin with, but they were being cheap fucks. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Do you see a theme?
16-bit and you're using RF? That's stupid. That's dumb. Anyways, would have preferred the Turbo Booster Plus, because that's the rarer version and it has the memory capacitor built in.
Soon enough.
It's okay, I'll get one of those eventually. But dude, this is awesome. This is going to look absolutely great back there on top of the turbo cabinet, man, with the rest of my Turbo Box goodies. I mean, dude, look at this. Look at all this turbo. See, it's like so big it's blocking out the sun.
All you need now is a General Lee to park on top of it.
Yeah, good idea. I mean, dude, look at all this freaking turbo. It's
too much turbo.
Too much turbo.
Too much.
Way too much. So that about wraps up this edition of Retro Game Haul, Rated T for Turbo, Volume 2. Chucky, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me on my Turbo Vision Quest, man. My quest to have all the turboness in the universe. To have all of it that the universe can supply to me.
Dude, thank you for having me. I have a turboner right now. Like, thank you.
Damn.
I appreciate it.
It's a good thing we're sitting down.
That's
we
right.
might actually offend somebody.
Come on and join me for the ride on the turboner.
Dude. Dude, you got 2 catchphrases in this episode. Turbo and turboner. That's amazing. Thank you for adding that, Chuck.
Anytime, buddy.
Dude, that's awesome.
Dude, what the fuck else am I here for?
To talk about turboners.
Turboners! Woo! A raging turboner.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone so much for stopping by. We always appreciate it. And as we always say here on Retro Game Haul, to all of our fellow turbo gamers,
game on.
Turbo on. Get your turboner.